What if I told you that the chair you are sitting in right now might be aging your spine faster than the passing years themselves? What if I told you that some researchers have begun comparing prolonged sitting to smoking in terms of its impact on your longevity and physical decline? That sounds dramatic. I know it does. And when I first encountered this research several years ago, I was skeptical myself. I have spent over 25 years in geriatric medicine and spine biomechanics. I have examined thousands of spines. I have watched patients lose their mobility gradually, and I have watched others maintain remarkable function well into their 80s and 90s. But when I started connecting the dots between sitting time and the specific patterns of spinal degeneration I was seeing in my clinic, something clicked. The patients who sat the most were not just stiff, they were aging faster at the structural level. Their discs were more compressed, their hip flexors were tighter, their balance reactions were slower, and their pain was more persistent. Here is what surprised me most. Walking alone was not fixing it. Many of these patients walked daily. They considered themselves active. But the damage from 8, 10, 12 hours of sitting was not being undone by a 30-minute walk. The sitting posture was imprinting itself into their tissues. Today, I want to share with you a simple 3-minute floor routine that I have refined over years of clinical practice. I call it the floor reset, and I believe it has the potential to reverse many of the patterns that prolonged sitting creates in your spine, your hips, and your nervous system. This is not about extreme flexibility. This is not about becoming an athlete. This is about reclaiming the basic mechanical function that allows you to climb stairs confidently, get up from the floor if you fall, and move through your day without that constant stiffness and aching that so many people accept as normal aging. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now with your age and where you are watching from. I read these comments, and it helps me understand who I am reaching. Whether you are 62 in Florida or 78 in London, I want to know you are here. Now, let me explain why sitting is so destructive, and then I will walk you through the exact routine step by step. The problem: why sitting accelerates spine aging. Think of your spine as a series of joints connected by living tissue. Between each vertebra sits a disc, and these discs are not solid structures. They are more like sponges filled with fluid. When you move, when you bend and twist and walk, these discs absorb and release fluid. This is how they receive nutrition. This is how they stay healthy. When you sit for hours, especially in a slouched position, you are compressing these sponges continuously in one direction. The fluid gets pushed out. The nutrition decreases. Over time, the discs become thinner, drier, and less resilient. Doctors call this process disc desiccation. It is a hallmark of spinal aging, and while some degree is inevitable, prolonged sitting dramatically accelerates it. But that is only part of the story. When you sit, your hip flexors, the muscles at the front of your hips that connect your thighs to your pelvis, are held in a shortened position for hours. Over time, these muscles adapt. They become chronically tight. And when you stand up, they pull your pelvis forward into what we call an anterior tilt. This anterior tilt changes the entire geometry of your spine. Your lower back is forced into excessive curvature. Your upper back rounds to compensate, your head drifts forward, and suddenly, the forces traveling through your spine with every step are distributed incorrectly. This is why so many people experience lower back pain that seems to come from nowhere. The spine is not designed to bear weight in this distorted position. The joints become irritated, the muscles become fatigued, and the pain becomes chronic. Here's the part most people miss. Your nervous system adapts to this pattern. Your brain starts to accept the sitting posture as normal. Your proprioceptors, The sensors in your muscles and joints that tell your brain where your body is in space become recalibrated to this dysfunctional position. This is why you cannot simply stretch your way out of the problem. You need to reset the entire pattern. You need to give your nervous system new information about what neutral actually feels like. A 2023 cohort study published in a major rehabilitation journal found that adults over 60 who sat more than 8 hours daily had significantly reduced balance reactions and slower protective stepping responses. In other words, their ability to catch themselves before a fall was compromised. Falls are the leading cause of injury death in adults over 65, and sitting is making your fall risk worse. But here is the good news. This is not permanent. In a moment, I will show you a simple 30-second test you can do right now to see if sitting has already begun affecting your posture. And then I will teach you exactly how to reverse it. The quick self-test. Has sitting already affected your spine? I want you to try something right now. You do not need to get on the floor yet. Just stand up from wherever you are sitting. Find a wall. Stand with your back against the wall, your heels about 3 inches away from the baseboard. Let your buttocks and shoulder blades touch the wall. Now, without forcing anything, notice what happens with your head. Does the back of your head naturally touch the wall, or is there a gap? If there is a gap, if you have to actively push your head back to touch the wall, this tells us something important. Your upper spine has adapted to a forward head posture. This is the sitting imprint I was describing. Now notice your lower back. Is there a massive space between your lower back and the wall, enough to fit your entire hand and more? Or is it relatively flat? If the space is excessive, your pelvis is likely tilted forward from tight hip flexors. Do not be alarmed if you noticed both of these patterns. You are not broken. You are not damaged beyond repair. You are simply experiencing the predictable consequences of how modern life forces us to sit. And this is fixable. Comment below right now. Type yes if you noticed stiffness or forward head posture during that test. I want to know how many of you are experiencing this. The 3-minute floor reset routine. Now we arrive at the heart of today's video. I am going to teach you 5 simple steps that together take approximately 3 minutes. You can do this routine every single day. In fact, I recommend you do it every single day, preferably in the morning before the sitting begins or in the evening to undo the day's damage. Before we begin, an important note. If you have severe pain radiating down your leg, numbness or weakness in your limbs, a recent fracture, or any condition affecting your balance significantly, please consult your physician or physical therapist before attempting floor exercises. This routine is designed to be gentle and safe for most adults over 60, but your individual situation matters. Use a chair or wall for support when getting down and up, and if anything causes sharp pain, stop immediately. Let us begin. Step 1. Supported breathing, reset 40 seconds. On screen, Step 1. Supported breathing, reset 40 seconds. Lie on your back on a firm surface. A yoga mat on the floor is ideal. Do not do this on a soft bed, as it will not provide the feedback your spine needs. Bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Let your arms rest by your sides, or place your hands gently on your lower ribs. Now, simply breathe. But I want you to breathe in a specific way. As you inhale, feel your rib cage expand sideways, not just upward. Imagine your ribs are an umbrella opening. Your belly will rise slightly, but the focus is on lateral expansion. As you exhale, let everything soften. Let your lower back settle toward the floor. Do not force it, just allow gravity to work. Do this for 40 seconds, approximately 5 to 6 breath cycles. What is happening here? When we sit for hours, especially under stress, our breathing becomes shallow and chest dominant. The diaphragm, the primary muscle of respiration, becomes restricted. This affects not only our oxygen intake but also our spinal stability, because the diaphragm attaches directly to the lumbar vertebrae. By consciously restoring diaphragmatic breathing, you are downshifting your nervous system from a stressed, protective state into a calmer state where tissue can actually release and adapt. The common mistake here is trying to breathe too deeply or too forcefully. This is not about maximum air intake. It is about gentle, three-dimensional expansion. Think of it as inflating a balloon slowly and evenly. Step 2. Pelvic clock, 35 seconds. On screen. Step 2. Pelvic clock, 35 seconds. Stay on your back with your knees bent. Imagine your pelvis is a bowl of water. If you tilt the bowl toward your feet, water would spill toward your toes. If you tilt it toward your head, water would spill toward your belly button. Begin by gently tilting your pelvis so your lower back presses slightly into the floor. This is a small movement, perhaps an inch. Then reverse, allowing your lower back to arch slightly away from the floor. Rock back and forth between these two positions slowly. Take about 2 seconds in each direction. After 15 seconds, add a side-to-side component. Imagine tilting the bowl so water would spill toward your left hip, then toward your right hip. Finally, combine all 4 directions into a slow circular motion, as if you are drawing a small circle with your tailbone. This is the pelvic clock, and it is one of the most powerful movements for restoring lumbar mobility. Here is why this matters after 60. The joints of your lower spine, the facet joints, are designed to glide smoothly with movement. When you sit, they are locked in one position for hours. They become stiff. The capsules around them tighten. The pelvic clock gently mobilizes these joints without any load or stress. The common mistake is making this movement too large. Keep it small and controlled. You should feel gentle motion, not stretching or straining. Step 3, glute wake up, squeeze 40 seconds. On screen. Step 3. Glute wake up, squeeze 40 seconds. Remain on your back, knees bent, feet flat. Press your feet into the floor and gently lift your hips 1 to 2 inches off the ground. You are not trying to create a high bridge. You are simply engaging your gluteal muscles enough to lift your pelvis slightly. Hold this position for 5 seconds, squeezing your glutes firmly but not maximally. Think 70% effort. Lower slowly and repeat. Aim for 4 to 5 repetitions within the 40 seconds. Why is this so important? Your gluteal muscles are the primary extensors of your hip. They are supposed to power your walking, your stair climbing, your ability to stand up from a chair. But when you sit for hours, these muscles are completely turned off. They are stretched and inhibited. Over time, your brain forgets how to activate them efficiently. This phenomenon is sometimes called gluteal amnesia, and it is remarkably common in adults who sit frequently. When your glutes are not firing properly, other muscles must compensate. Your lower back muscles work overtime. Your hamstrings become overactive. This creates pain and dysfunction. The glute wake-up squeeze retrains your nervous system to activate these muscles on demand. The common mistake is pushing the hips too high or arching the lower back excessively. Keep the movement small. Focus on the squeeze, not the height. Step 4, figure 4, hip unlock, 35 seconds. On screen, step 4, figure 4, hip unlock, 35 seconds. Stay on your back. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, just above the knee, creating a figure 4 shape with your legs. If this alone creates a stretch in your right hip, simply stay here and breathe for the full 35 seconds. If you need more stretch, Reach your hands behind your left thigh and gently pull your left knee toward your chest. Keep your head on the floor. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Breathe into the stretch. Do not bounce. Do not force. After 35 seconds, switch sides. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh and repeat. This stretch targets your hip external rotators, including the piriformis muscle, which lies deep in your buttock and can become extremely tight from sitting. When the piriformis is tight, it can compress the sciatic nerve, contributing to that radiating pain some people feel down their leg. Even if you do not have sciatica, tight hip rotators limit your walking stride and contribute to lower back compensation. The common mistake is pulling too hard and creating tension in your neck and shoulders. Keep your upper body relaxed. The stretch should feel like a gentle opening, not a battle. Step 5. Side to side spine sweep 30 seconds. On screen, step 5, side to side spine, sweep 30 seconds. Return to neutral position on your back, both feet flat on the floor, knees bent. Now, keeping your knees together, slowly lower both knees to the right side toward the floor. You do not need to touch the floor. Go only as far as comfortable while keeping both shoulder blades in contact with the ground. Return to center, then lower both knees to the left side. Move slowly and rhythmically, like windshield wipers. Take about 3 seconds in each direction. Continue for 30 seconds. This movement introduces gentle rotation into your spine, which is often the most restricted movement after prolonged sitting. Your thoracic spine, the middle portion of your back, is designed to rotate significantly, but sitting locks it in a rounded position with minimal rotation. Rotation is essential for walking efficiently, for looking over your shoulder when driving, for countless daily activities. The spine sweep begins to restore this capacity. The common mistake is rotating from the lower back instead of allowing the motion to come from the mid-back and hips together. Keep your lower back relatively stable. Let your rib cage and pelvis move as a unit. The stand-up integration, 30 seconds. On screen, stand-up integration, 30 seconds. You have completed the 5 floor movements. Now, do not just jump up. Roll to your side first. Pause. Press up to a seated position using your arm. Pause again. Come to kneeling if possible. Then bring one foot forward. Press through your front foot to stand. Once standing, take a moment. Close your eyes if you can balance safely. Notice how your body feels. Does your posture feel different? Does your lower back feel less compressed? Can you sense your glutes more readily? This is the pattern reset in action. What you have just done is far more than stretching. You have provided your nervous system with new proprioceptive information. You have reminded your brain what neutral alignment feels like. You have stimulated mechanotransduction, the process by which mechanical forces are converted into cellular signals that promote tissue health and adaptation. This is how you reverse spine aging. Not by forcing flexibility, not by extreme exercise, but by consistently giving your body the inputs it needs to maintain healthy function. 3 minutes, every single day. The number one mistake. Before I give you the 7-day progression plan, I need to warn you about the number one mistake I see people make with routines like this. They go too hard. They think that if a little is good, more must be better. They force their range of motion. They hold their breath while straining. They do the routine on a soft mattress that gives no feedback. They push through pain. After 60, your tissues do not respond to forcing the way they might have at 30. Aggressive stretching can create inflammation. It can trigger protective muscle spasms. It can actually make your stiffness worse. The floor reset works because it is gentle. It works because it communicates safety to your nervous system. The moment you start forcing, you activate protective responses that undo the benefit. If you cannot get to the floor safely, do a modified version in bed only temporarily while you work on your ability to get down and up. But transition to the floor as soon as possible. The firm surface matters. If any movement causes sharp pain, skip it. Do the others. Consult a professional about the one that hurts. Progress slowly. This is not a race. The 7-day progression plan. Here is how I recommend starting. Days 1 and 2, do the routine at about 60% intensity. Keep the movements small. Focus on breathing and relaxation more than range of motion. Get comfortable with the sequence. Days 3 and 4, add 10 seconds to the pelvic clock and the glute wake-up. Start to explore slightly larger movements, but still stay well within your comfortable range. Days 5 through 7. After completing the floor reset, add 5 gentle chair squats. Stand in front of a sturdy chair. Lower yourself slowly until you lightly touch the seat, then stand back up. This integrates the mobility gains into functional movement. After the first week, continue daily. The routine should become as automatic as brushing your teeth. 3 minutes is not a significant time investment, but the compound returns over weeks and months are substantial. Who this is not for. I want to be clear about who should not attempt this routine without professional guidance. If you have severe radiating pain into your leg that goes below your knee, especially with numbness or weakness, please see your doctor. This could indicate nerve compression that requires specific treatment. If you have had a recent vertebral fracture or have been diagnosed with severe osteoporosis with fracture risk, floor exercises may not be appropriate for you without modification. If you experience dizziness when lying down or changing positions, please work with a healthcare provider before attempting floor routines. For everyone else, this routine is designed to be safe and beneficial, but listen to your body. It will tell you if something is not right. The close. Let me leave you with this thought. Independence is not about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. Independence is about being able to climb a flight of stairs without fear. It is about getting up from the floor if you fall. It is about reaching overhead without pain, turning to check traffic without restriction, playing with your grandchildren without hesitation. These capacities are not lost to aging. They are lost to disuse, to the accumulation of poor postural habits, to the sitting that modern life demands. And they can be reclaimed. 3 minutes on the floor each day is a small investment with enormous returns. I have seen patients transform their mobility in weeks using routines exactly like this one. I have seen people cancel surgeries. I have seen people return to activities they thought were behind them forever. This can be you. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments below, answer these 3 questions for me. First, how many hours do you typically sit each day? Be honest. Second, where do you feel stiffness most, your neck, your lower back, or your hips? Third, will you commit to trying this 7-day plan? Your answers help me create better content for you, and they help other viewers feel less alone in their experience. If you found this video valuable, please tap the like button. It takes 1 second, and it helps this information reach more people who need it. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already. I release new videos regularly on mobility, healthy aging, and protecting your spine and joints as the years pass. And watch for my next video, where I will reveal 3 common posture habits that silently crush your discs over time. You may be doing one of them right now without realizing it. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of your spine. It is the only one you have. I will see you in the next video.